Well, welcome to the Stone Roadie podcast. It's the one you don't want to miss. It stars Craig Reed, the Stone Roadie, and Griff, the rocket scientist. Let's not forget Kathy Godsey and all the old friends that come along. Lord, we'll be talking Skynyrd and leaving you with a song. The Stoned Roadie Show, podcast 240, Wake and Bake the Morning Buzz, episode 115. Action. Alrighty then, fellow slaves and earthlings, looky here. My name's Craig Reed, aka the Stoned Roadie, and with me as always is the rocket scientist and my co-pilot, Griff Martin. So yeah, today is October the 30th, 2024, and I guess tomorrow is officially Halloween. So I've got my Blue Angels outfit on, and actually me and Kathy Godsey are going to do a Halloween special here tomorrow evening on Halloween day. Trick or treat. And well, what the heck, that's about all I got to say about that. What are we going to talk about here tonight, this morning?
Well, I have on my outfit of myself, my ugly ass self, so that's good enough for Halloween. Yeah, our last podcast, it's the first one we've ever had taken down by YouTube because, well, I can't tell you or they'll take this one down. But we were saying some stuff that we shouldn't have been saying that was the truth. And they don't like the truth. So, yeah, we can't speak the truth. So that's what happened there. And if you noticed, it was up in the morning and then somebody sent me an email. And if I wouldn't have been for that, I would have not known. But they said, man, they took your podcast down. And so I called Craig and he, he sent it back to me, and then I fixed it, took out what we thought was wrong, which it was what I thought. And
well, they sent me actually sent me a clip because it was the first one we had taken down, and they showed me exactly what it was, and it had to do with that drug that's supposed to cure the big C, and then we were talking about somebody went into the H and could have got
because they had the C and
could have got put to death had he stayed in there, so he ran out of there, and that whole scenario kind of was much of the truth, so they took it down. They don't want anything, the companies, they don't want anything to be leaked out about that thing that could cure the big C, because it's been out there for a long time, and they're keeping that a secret, so we're not allowed to talk about it.
Yeah, so that's what happened, and I had to go in there and do a lot of editing, and that's a pain in the ass just because they didn't want the truth to be out there. But we're going to try to keep it clean. We're going to just do our normal stuff that we get away with, talking about fat people and stuff like that. We've got a little bit of Lynyrd Skynyrd on here, stuff to talk about.
If your internet stays stable this time,
that's the other thing.
Cut it short last time. Your internet,
because I got the shittiest internet on the planet, and they can't come out and fix it because they're swamped from the hurricane stuff, and so we'll see what happens. We'll make it fast.
But before we get going on that, we got a bid on Gene Odom's Blue Book for $300, and that's a pretty good price on that. But I told Bruce Fancher, he wanted to know if he should send the money, and I said, well, we had to offer it at least one more time.
and see if anybody wanted to up that bid. But it's a pretty good bid. But yeah, so I'll wait another day, and then we'll close the bidding on that. So. And then the only thing else we got to offer, well, I don't know if you got something. We got this camera that I talked about from Robert Wheatley. These are really, really cool cameras, man. I've been working with mine, and this is
No offer on that yet, Craig?
still in the box. Yeah, Danny Barron.
That's
Barron,
right.
our guy that he's been needing a new camera to do these intros with, so he put a $1 offer on it. So $400 camera.
I kind of hope Danny gets it, man.
$400 camera, and it's basically like this one here. This is the newer model. This is a 3. That one there is a 2. This is a 3, and it's got the gimbal up here that will follow you around. It's like a presentation camera, and you can put it up on a stand, and you can walk around, and it'll follow you around, and it's got a remote microphone and all kind of stuff. And he's got a few of these that we're going to be auctioning off here.
Yeah, and that's Robert Wheatley. So check Robert Wheatley out on how do you I would say get in touch with Craig if anybody
get
wants
in touch with me, and we'll hook you up with it. But if you're wanting a drone or a cell phone or any kind of electronics, that's what he does.
And you get a good price too. Yeah.
He started out in that kind of business with the satellite dishes way back when they were big 10-foot dishes. That's when he started out doing all this stuff. But he's got like a store. He sold these cameras and stuff. So the kind of cameras you might want, we'll contact him and see what he can't come up with. So that's about all we got on that. We got a $150 bid on the Billy Powell jacket, so we're gonna also be closing that out if we don't get any more bids on that. And that's about it.
And you guys might not know, but Craig, that hat that Craig's wearing, I got that for him from a flight attendant lady that I was dating, and I asked him, I said, would Leon wear that hat, Craig? Oh, Leon would be all over that.
Oh,
hat.
Yeah, Leon would love this hat. Yeah, heck yeah. Oh, yeah, it's a dandy, yeah.
It's a real one. It came from a real Delta pilot, and Craig had to go out and get that little emblem in the front there, which is
the wings. Yeah, these are actually World War III wings I bought off of.
World War III? Have we already been in
World War II?
you know it's going to happen, so...
really. I couldn't find my Blue Angel hat to go with his outfit, so
it must be with that damn tackle box, Ronnie's tackle box.
Yeah, it's with the tackle box. Yeah.
So if you find the tackle box, you'll find a Blue Angels hat. You'd think you'd have a helmet because you got a NASCAR helmet. Craig, I was supposed to go with Craig to ride some go-karts at the go-kart track, him and John Neal, and I guess Sammy went with you, and John, and Craig had his
skull racing outfit on,
racing outfit. Yeah, and then
a fireproof racing suit from Skull. Yeah,
he wore that down to the go-kart track, and then
I won too. I beat them all.
John needed water.
I T-boned John Neal, man. He had to come out and give him water. I T-boned him.
Craig said John needed some water. Does John ever watch the podcast anymore, Craig?
I think so, yeah. I think he watches them every now and then.
John's Craig's buddy, and John pulled me aside one day, and he goes, Griff, man, I got to ask you, quit egging Craig on with the fat stuff. I'm trying to get him to stop. I said, John, man, you're not going to get Craig to stop talking fat shaming stuff. I said, that's in DNA. I said, even if everybody became skinny overnight, he'd still talk about it all, you know? And John's like, well, you're not helping it, man. And I said, well, you either got to laugh at it or be mad about it. So you might as well just laugh at it. John's a nut. He's a good dude. He's a smart guy, real smart guy. Yeah. And I've been keeping track of that stuff up in North Carolina. You know, now they're saying people are getting sick. Did you know that like about, I'd say like 25% of the cadaver dogs that they had up there are dying? They said that they're dying, and that the horses that they rescued out of the water are sick, that people are getting sick. They were walking around out in the water, and the water was eating through their clothes because it's like a toxic dump out there. And you had all of this nuclear waste and sewage, dead animals, dead people, just all in that water and in the mud. And then these people are going in there and they're shoveling out their houses, and they're getting sick. And I was going to go up there until I read that, and I think I'm just going to wait a little while, just a couple weeks, and take some supplies up there. But I think I'm just going to like cruise in and cruise out. I damn sure don't want to be one of those statistics. Yeah, I already went through my 5 years of darkness. I don't want to go through another 5 years of darkness. Yeah, so I'm going to be making a run up there, and while I'm up there, I guess Craig's going to have to go solo, but that's going to be in a couple weeks. We'll see what happens. I'm going to rent a truck and take a bunch of people that I know are going to give me a bunch of stuff. Even Leslie Hawkins is going to give me a couple boxes full of some stuff, and we want to go up there and make sure that people that need it, the people that need it, get it, because they definitely need some help up there. And
well, let me explain this picture I got up when 2003. This is 2003 when I still worked for the tribute band, and I actually owned a motorcycle shop down at the Main Street Saloon. And there was a costume company that was right next door to me, and they were going out of business. So I went over there and bought these Superman outfits, and we used these for Halloween. And then when Christmas come around, I said, let's put on our Superman outfits and get in front of the Christmas tree with Leon. You see Leon down there. And I had to crop the picture so it would fit in my green screen. But that's Leon 1. And we sent these out for Christmas cards one year. We were the super family for Christmas. My friend put it up on their refrigerator, and there's some kids came in and goes, is that really Superman? And they were going, yeah, we know Superman. Yeah, they believed it. So, yeah, that's the...
But Craig always likes to dress up, even if it's not Halloween.
But this is 2003. That's before I got fat.
Yeah, you were starting. You could see.
Yeah, you can see I was kind of starting. You can see my neck. I was starting to get fat.
Yeah, you were starting to get that double chin going.
Well, that's what I was drinking. I was an alcoholic and a drug addict even then in 2003. Yeah, I was. Because I left the band in 2006. That's right around the time. Yeah, I was going through some problems. That's when I had hepatitis C, and I was an alcoholic. Yeah.
You probably could have got you an Elvis suit, and that would have worked out pretty good.
Yeah, and I had a motorcycle shop that was connected to the most famous biker bar in Akron. So that didn't help my alcoholism any at all. I stayed at that bar all till closing time every night.
That was Leon One right
Yeah,
there. The
that's
one
Leon
that,
one. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, he
Leon
went
One.
with me to work every day.
Yeah, and you actually have pictures of you riding Leon around on your motorcycle.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that was a pretty cool dog. I never got to meet Leon One. That was before my time.
I still have most of those Christmas tree ornaments. I don't use them anymore though.
Yeah, you can tell that you had a wife at that time because now Craig's house it's a bachelor pad. It's
It's a
not
mess.
set up like, it's
It's a
not set up.
mess. It's a disaster. That's why I can't find nothing.
Yeah, Craig's desk has got like, I mean, that's where a lot of the crap is he can't find is on his desk. And that tackle box, it's probably 6 feet away from him, and he just can't see it for the all the other things that he's collecting. But
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to tell where it's at. It's somewhere around here. I think I hid it from myself after I was selling stuff out of it. I said, "You'll probably be sorry you're selling stuff out of there."
well, I'm kind of glad you did. So when you do find it, we can go through
Yeah,
it
I
and
sold a
see.
lot of stuff. I would like that, like this, like this blue jacket here. I
And that
kind
reminds me,
I kind of wish I wouldn't have sold that.
yeah. And then the guy brought it back. No, he brought the other one, the red one over.
No, no, he bought this one. I signed
Is
it.
it?
I
Oh,
signed
okay.
it on the front. It says Craig there on the other side, in the front, on the other side of that patch. I signed it right under there with a silver marker. Signed it real nice too. I was proud of myself. Could put a good signature.
That's a cool looking jacket, man. That's a
Yeah,
cool looking
yeah.
jacket. Yeah. Um, yeah, so we'll just go over these comments and get rolling before my cable goes out. It likes to do it right toward the end. I just got I don't normally do this, but I heard my phone bling. And Cody Clark, man, if you're listening, I just got your message to
Oh,
ask Craig
Cody.
this
Yeah. Hey,
question.
Cody.
Yeah. Yeah, he's asking, hey, ask Craig what the deal was with Ronnie at the gray whistle test. I've heard a few stories. Uh, was he sick? Was he sick? Or what was wrong with his voice?
I don't know. I just watched that the other day. I watched. I think I posted Double Trouble. They did Double Trouble. It
Yeah,
was
he
just
sounded
Gary.
like a
It was
little
just Gary. It was
congested.
just Gary and Alan. That was. Yeah, it
Yeah,
wasn't.
Ronnie, I think he had a cold or maybe it was a cocaine thing or did Ronnie do like a lot of cocaine, Craig?
Uh, at times.
There was
Yeah,
that one
at
that
times.
somebody gave you guys a big bag of cocaine and it didn't get cut or something. And you guys were like snorting it up and it really blew Ronnie's throat out, right? And he had to cancel a show, right? Isn't that right?
I don't never remember cocaine being the fault of it.
That's what I heard, but you were there, so
Ronnie, after a show, we'd go back. We'd go back to a hotel. God, he'd sit up doing cocaine and drinking whiskey and talking all night. I mean,
no, really,
talking.
yeah,
Yeah, when you're a singer, you're only supposed to just sing.
yeah.
You're not supposed to go back to the hotel and drink and talk all night.
What was
You're
he
supposed to
talking
rest your
about?
voice. And Ronnie would go into a room, and then when he wanted to talk, if people were watching TV, if the TV was on, he would pour scotch down the back of the TV so blow the TV out so he could talk, you know. And then the next day, I guess the whiskey would evaporate and the TV would work. That was the theory, anyways. But
Well, what kind of stuff was he talking about? Was he
just he just liked to talk, man. He liked to be he just liked to talk. Sometimes, he'd sit up and tell stories all night long.
Well, that cocaine it'll loosen your tongue up a little bit. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. But he
And
liked to tell stories and then get other people to tell stories, and then he'd try to steal stuff out of their stories. I don't know.
for like a song or something, you mean?
Yeah, he would try to
Oh,
get people to talk. Different people in different parts of the country use different slangs. So he would try to get people to tell stories and you got that shit right,
yeah. You're looking
stuff
for
like that.
material.
Yeah, looking for a hook,
Right. Yeah.
that he's like never heard before, something from a slang from a different part of the country he could use.
Yeah.
Just anything. He was like that. He would try to. I guess all songwriters are probably like that. They
Yeah. Like Craig
listen
was.
to people.
Craig
and
was
try to-
said to him one time, "What's your name, little girl?" And that's where he got that from.
Now we all said that. What was your name again? What was your name?
But he threw
Yeah,
that
that
little
was
girl
the
in there.
standard. Yeah, God, there was so many of them every day. There was just women. Well, what was your name?
Oh yeah.
There was bunches of them.
And you could get away with that if you were a rock star. Yeah, you
Yeah.
could say
What
that.
was
And
your
they'd be
name?
if you said that now, they'd be like, "You don't know my name," and then they'd haul ass
Well,
because you wouldn't. Yeah,
they
that'd
kind
piss
of
'em off.
understand it when you're around a lot of people. Just say, well, what was your name again?
Yeah.
Shit, I could never remember.
Well, it made for a good song. Damn
Yeah,
sure
yeah.
did. And then you got that right. And
Yeah.
that was that bus driver, that truck driver.
Jim. Yeah, little
Jim.
Jim. Yeah.
And that was the Ronnie had a shirt named Jim. Had
No,
like a
that's
work shirt.
Sam. That's Sam.
Oh, that was Sam. Where'd that come from? Who
That
was
was a
that?
bus driver, Sam.
Bus
He was
driver,
he
yeah.
was a real cool bus driver, Sam. He was on Give Me Back My Bullets. He was that real big guy in the picture.
Yeah, yeah.
Dressed like a cowboy, a real big guy. That was Sam, the bus driver. Yeah.
So Cody Clark, man, you got that answered. That don't mean if you guys send me a message, I'm gonna read it on because he got lucky. As a matter of fact, I've had several people call me, especially here lately, man, can you call me? Can you call me? And I've just been too busy, man. I'm just like I'd be on the phone all day if I answered half of this stuff, and I wouldn't be able to get anything done. Craig, he'll pick up the phone and talk to you. Man, I got shit to do.
Oh, I talk to people all the time. I really do.
I've actually been
All
like
over the place.
going down to the city trying to get a permit to put a carport out behind my house, and that's been pissing me off because they turned me down and because they didn't like my plan. And so I had to show them where they were wrong and I was right. They just don't know how to read. So I went down there and highlighted it. But yeah, I'm pretty busy. Let's jump into some more of these
But
questions
talking
here.
about permits, you mentioned that before we went on. I posted that thing about that woman saying that there was they were saying that there was 90 people missing in North Carolina, and
Oh yeah.
people in North Carolina are saying, man, there's thousands of people that
Yeah, there are.
and buried under the mud, and the current administration is trying to say that there's 90 people dead. There's thousands of people missing,
Yeah.
buried under that mud, and they said the Red Cross is packing it up and going home, and they're telling people they can put up a tent on your property, but you can't put up a little tiny home. You'll have to get a permit for that.
Yeah.
And then they're wanting to take people's kids because they're homeless and
Yeah.
all kind of they're crazy. You people are out of your freaking minds.
Yeah, these are the people that you liberals are voting for that are doing all this.
You people are out of your minds. And that Willie Nelson dude, I didn't know he believed there was more than two genders and that boys needed tampon machines in the bathrooms. And
Yeah, man, that's a dang shame, man.
I
Old Willie.
mean, give me a break, God.
Yeah, you know, you gotta pick a side, you know. It's not like it used to
I
be.
mean,
It
that
used to
shit's
be.
insanity. If you believe any of that shit, you're nuts.
Yeah, it used to be the parties, you know, were close enough to where, you know, you could have a conversation. But now it's like, you know, having a pedophile neighbor and going over and, hey man, why don't you come over for a barbecue? You can't, you know, it's like you can't let these people get away with this stuff, this Puff Daddy world, man. So yeah, that's and then there's like a bunch of buzzards flying around up. There's like thousands of buzzards flying around because of all the dead animals and you know it's just really bad up there. And that's why I'm going to go up there and make a run up there because I got a couple neighbors, the old neighbors of mine that I need to check on, make sure they're all right because I still haven't found out yet. There's just so many people displaced and stuff. Um, yeah, there he is. Craig, you think that hat would have fit on that head?
Yeah, the top of my head didn't get no bigger. Yeah, the bottom's a lot bigger. No,
I don't know, man. It looks pretty big.
I
It looks
don't
like
think the top of my head got any bigger, but the bottom sure did.
looks like a big old pumpkin head.
A big old water head. Asshole baby with a water head.
But yeah, but you're happy. See how happy you are in that
How
picture?
could I be so happy with a head so nappy?
You probably just got through eating a Big Mac or something, you know?
No, I was drunk.
Yeah, a lot of yours was something you drank. I think all that alcoholic calories that you were ingesting.
No, that was at a period of my life when I thought I was happy, but I was mistaken.
Yeah, yeah, well,
Yeah.
you don't want to, you know, you don't want to mess that up if you think you're happy. Like right now, I think I'm happy, but I probably I'm not, but you know, at least I think I am.
I was married and controlled then. I'm not married and out of control. And I like it.
Yeah. Yeah. Before we came on here, and Craig, well, he was going into a rant about fat people, and I had to change the subject there because he was getting a little wound up, you know, and so yeah, he got a little bit out of his system. I think. I think so.
I
We could
thought
probably.
about taking my new camera down to Walmart with me and taking pictures of fat women.
Oh God,
And if
Craig.
somebody say, "What were you taking a picture?" I was like, "Oh, I just got this camera. I'm just kind of checking it out. I'm not taking."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're liable to get one of them to kick your ass, man.
Oh,
Those,
there's always a big old fat one down there.
oh, there's
At least a
more
few.
than one. It's probably 90% in that Walmart. And okay, let's jump into there in these comments. Let me see here. Yeah, remember last week we were talking about the Ron Popil, all the inventions that he had. And I told Craig, I said, I remembered one. It was the buttoneer, you know, it's where you you got this little thing and you put it like a little plastic thing in it and you stick it through your button and through your shirt. And then you just pull that trigger and it fastens your button to the shirt. And I remember my stepmother bought one of those and she put some of my buttons on my shirt, and I went to school and it fell off because it was only for temporary. I don't think it was meant. I think it was meant to get you through the meeting.
There must
so.
have been 20 of those things that he invented, and I can't.
Patrol 330 says he had the hair in a can, that you spray on your bald spot.
Oh yeah.
He had that hair in the can. He had the Mr. Microphone.
Oh
Remember
yeah.
that? And then the bottle cutter. You remember the bottle cutter? It was a bottle cutter. Yeah. So I know there's more. There's more. There was the inside the egg scrambler, and then the buttoneer, and there was just a bunch of them. So anybody has any more of those Popil inventions, put them in the comments. It's kind of fun to talk about. Scooter weed. I saw the 1988 tribute tour, and Leon had these sunglasses on with red lights on each side. Where the heck did he get that from, Greg? You remember that?
Those are like mechanic lights.
Yeah.
I got a pair of those.
Yeah, we had those at work.
Yeah, there's lights on the side. Yeah,
But why were they red?
he probably put red lenses on them. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, old Leon, man. If Leon found something like that, he was all over
we had lighting gels we could stick on there. So
when you first met the band, was Leon already wearing the hats? Had he already started doing? No. So how did you see that progress, Craig?
He just
what was
started
like
wearing hats. Yeah.
And did Ronnie say, "Man, that's a pretty good gimmick. You keep doing that"?
Well, as a matter of fact, I think that dang Bobby hat that Sally got for him really started
that started it, huh?
Started the real cool hat, because that was a real cool hat,
And Slash copied him.
Oh, really?
Well, that's what I think. Slash, he had that hat. That's the same kind of hat Leon had, one of those, like a top hat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Leon had a few of those top hats, yeah.
Yeah, Leon started a fad, man,
Yeah. Could have been.
So he had that Bobby hat.
Didn't Leon Russell wore top hats too, I think, didn't he?
I don't remember. I never really saw a lot of Leon Russell.
But Leon was known as the Mad Hatter. Leon changed hats every song. Leon wore a different hat. Every song he wore a different hat.
Was it hats that people gave him? Or was it hats that...
Just hats he collected, yeah,
I'm sure people probably said...
Yeah, there was people that gave him hats. After a while, yeah, people started giving him hats, but yeah. But yeah, the Bobby hat was actually started the real cool hats. Yeah, the Bobby hat started that. Yeah,
and you were there too before Ronnie started wearing his hat, right?
Yeah. Before we had got the endorsement with before I got one, they couldn't afford a damn hat.
I know.
Like you said, we were talking about Peggy. Peggy said she had to give Gary money to buy a cheeseburger.
Yeah, well, Peggy Smith, we were trying to get her on, and she said she'd come on, and we've been in communication with her. And I talked to Peggy. Either I was texting her, or I know I talked to her on the phone once because she wanted a T-shirt that I had, and she was telling me, Gary. I guess she wasn't really fond of Gary at the time or whatever, but she said, that damn Gary, he couldn't even afford a cheeseburger. I had to buy him a cheeseburger. So Peggy, if you're listening, I remembered that, man. I remembered that. But yeah, hopefully we can get Peggy on, and that's going to be an interesting podcast right there.
I talked to Brian. Brian watches all the podcasts.
Yeah, Brian Gibbons.
He saw the one we were talking about, Peggy. He said, yeah, she said she would do it, and she saw the part where you said that you would go to her or whatever was necessary. And I told Brian, I said, man, whenever she feels like it, we'll just knock one out with her.
Because it's not that far for me to drive over where she's at. That's my old neighborhood.
Because we're
And
good at just knocking these out.
yeah,
we do,
yeah,
we can do them 3 times a week and just knock them out.
yeah, it's nice
I
to
just say,
have a
you got
guest.
something to talk about, Griff? I don't have nothing.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about anything, but it's nice to have a little on the road with Griff Martin, or have somebody on to do an interview with, have a guest on, and yeah, that'd be cool. I've been meaning to get a hold of Joe Crimp, because I want, Joe Crimp was in the car when Gary hit the oak tree, and I want to get now. Now, Joe doesn't want to be on camera. Uh, I had to beg his wife to get him on that podcast. He did so good, though. He did a great job. But I want to go get Joe Crimp, and he doesn't have to be on the camera. We'll just do kind of like I do. We'll just video where we are. But I want him to tell the whole story, and drive over to the teen center over there where they played, which is gone now, and then retrace the trip that night that they took, and the oak tree's even gone, and just have Joe narrate the whole thing and show the carport that they rolled up in, and yeah, all that stuff. So I'm gonna be coming up there, Joe. I'm gonna try to kidnap you, man, and take you over there, and tell that story, because that's a story that needs to be told. It needs to go on a video, and I'd appreciate it, Joe. It'll be fun, man. I'll take you to lunch, and we'll go have some fun with that. So I'm working on that, working on Peggy. So there's some cool things coming up. Remember I told you that that I was gonna go up to Oklahoma, but I didn't know when, and it took me about a year, but I finally did it, because I knew that they were having that Steve Gaines birthday bash, and I wasn't supposed to let the cat out of the bag on that, so I didn't say when. But that worked out great. I had a great time. So yeah, Scooter Weed, those glasses, I guess, were probably safety glasses that Leon was wearing, like you wear when you're working on something. Then Kimmy, I thought Kimmy was mad at us. She goes, I'm a big fan of Jimmy Houston. He's a great fisherman. I watch his podcast, and I need to find out if he's okay. Well, Kimmy, what's that got to do with anything? Just asking, Kimmy. She says, no, I'm not mad. So,
what kind of fish does he catch? He must be a bass fisherman.
Must be talking about that Ronnie's tackle box is why she's on a Jimmy Houston kick. But I like Jimmy Houston. He's a good
I don't
guy.
know who that is.
Oh, he's funny as hell. Yeah, he's great. Yeah, he's a great. I used to watch all those bass fishing shows. Yeah, I wanted to be one of those professional bass fishermen. Gene Odom's, I think his nephew is a professional. I met him when I was over at Gene's house, and he was just got back from duck hunting. And I was like, "Hey, man, what's it like having an uncle who is so cool?" It was in the Lynyrd Skynyrd, and he's like, "Man, yeah, it's it's just something you've been around and you get used to it." So, yeah, and I've been a couple of times to the hospital when Gene's been in the hospital for things, and I'll go in there, and the nurse will be in there, and I'll call her to the side, and I'll say, "You know who that is?" And she'll go, "No." I said, "That guy was on the Lynyrd Skynyrd plane crash, and he was Ronnie Van Zant's best friend." And she's like, "Really?" And then I turn around 5 minutes later, the hall was lined up with nurses wanting to come in and see Gene and meet Gene. And he's like, "What the hell did you tell her that for?" And I said, "You were ringing the buzzer before and couldn't get anybody in here." I said, "Now you can't get them out of here." I said, "That's why I did it." And he goes, "Yeah, I guess I'm going to have to do that the next time." So they were very attentive to old Gene once they found out he was in the Lynyrd Skynyrd plane crash. They felt sorry for him.
I think there's a professional fishermen that were from the Ohio area up here that got caught putting the lead weights in the fish and winning them tournaments. I
Yeah.
think they got prosecuted. Yeah, they put like 8 pounds of lead weights in these fish. And the guys were saying those fish don't look like they'd weigh that much. And they opened them up and there was lead inside of them. Oh, well,
Yeah, they like those damn Democrats, man. They know how to cheat. Hopefully that won't get us booted or demonetized.
well, yeah, well, like they say in racing, if you ain't cheating, you're not trying.
Yeah. And then the last podcast I was talking about how that gastroenterologist told me if your shit stinks, you're eating too much. And then
Oh, Kathy Gotzi got on me today about you guys talking about your shit. She goes, "My God, you guys are gross."
well, I mean, who doesn't do it? And so Sammy Joe says, Ronnie says, poop is supposed to stink. He's saying could jump in a rose bush and come out smelling like. So it's in the song, yeah.
Kathy said you're supposed to, as soon as you poop, you're supposed to flush it so that smell doesn't linger in the
That's
air.
a courtesy flush. That's called a courtesy flush.
No,
yeah.
so that doesn't linger in the air and
Right.
that toxic stuff doesn't settle on everything in the bathroom, your toothbrush and everything. So,
I'll agree with that.
Yeah, as soon as you drop a loaf, you're supposed to flush so that to get rid of that toxic stuff.
That's a discussion for that Outhouse podcast that you were on,
See, I learned something today. After she told me that, I just quit learning today because I thought, oh, that's good. I learned something today.
She's right. I mean, that's like I forget who that comedian. That's what the
ceiling fan was for.
I forgot who that comedian was, and he said during COVID, he said he was looking around and everybody had that mask on, and he was like. And he goes, and he realized that if you can smell everybody's farts, that mask ain't working. He said, that mask is bullshit. And so, yeah, he goes, that's how he knew that the mask was a scam. They were just trying to control. And there's still people wearing those damn things in the car by themselves. That's just mentally ill.
I see a lot of fat women wearing them.
What's that got to do with it, Greg? Not fat men?
Yeah.
There's a girl who there's a girl
they're easily manipulated. Just look at them.
Yeah, there's a girl across the way who walks her dog, and she wears a mask while she's walking her dog. And one day I pulled up and I said, hey, you got a mask on? And she's like, shakes her head and walks off. I don't get it, I mean, maybe, she's got
I
some
see
kind
people
of
riding in their car alone wearing a mask. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, it's not good for you because you're breathing your own
you're
carbon
breathing
monoxide.
CO2. Yeah.
Yeah. Carbon dioxide, monoxide. Yeah. David Hester.
CO2?
Yeah, CO2.
You're rebreathing. Yeah, you're
rebreathing. Yeah, that's not good for you.
You're not getting the correct amount of oxygen. Yeah. You're restricting your oxygen.
Yeah, that's not good to rebreathe, your own, because it's toxic. You're trying to expel the toxins out of your lungs.
That's what they call those rebreathers, don't they? You can.
Craig, you ought to try that with your weed. You could blow it in a bag and just keep sucking it back in and see how that works.
Well, they did that some people did that with freebase. They would take a great big hit of freebase.
Yeah.
And when they blow it out, instead of blowing it out, they had a tube and they'd blow it into somebody else's mouth. Yeah.
Remember how you used to do it, blow a shotgun? You'd turn the joint around and put it in your mouth and blow it into your buddy. That's just gross if you think about it, right?
Oh, man.
How gross is that?
I
And what
never
good does that do? Does that do you?
That was just a trend, I guess.
Yeah.
Just
Hey man, give me a shotgun,
Throw me
man.
a shotgun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's gross. Now you would do that with a chick just to get, so you could get close. You go, hey, give me a shotgun, and then you could tell whether or not she liked you. If she didn't blow you a shotgun, then you weren't gonna get anything that night. Yeah, David Hester.
Talking about women, you know the best place to take a woman on the first date, don't you? Swimming.
Oh yeah, at the beach. That's what we always said.
Yeah,
Go to
take
the
them to the
beach.
beach. Yeah.
But that don't work good if you don't look good.
Well, men can't do nothing about their looks. They don't wear a lot of phony stuff. Women are just phony. Everything about a woman anymore is phony. My God, there's just, their hair's phony. Everything's phony. Their eyebrows, eyelashes, their nails, their hair, whatever a woman has on her is usually phony.
What most women don't realize, though, is men don't really care about that crap. They don't care about the eyelashes.
Who gives a shit about your stupid nails?
God. They don't. Yeah, they don't care. Men, they just like them clean. They don't really, they don't really.
They wear
care.
them damn 3-inch nails with jewels in them and all that crap. And it's the fat women that do it,
Well, that's the same reason they wear that little tiny ankle bracelet, because it petites out their big old stovepipe leg.
And then the eyelash, I don't mind the eyelashes so much on an attractive woman, but these women that are 300 pounds that wear these overextended eyelashes, that's just ridiculous.
Well, like I said, guys don't care about that stuff,
They don't. They want a natural looking woman. They don't want something that's, wears too much makeup. You can't.
Yeah, there's some women, they put on a base coat, clear coat. It's like they got so much spackle on there, and their skin cracks. You can see it. It's just like caked on there.
It's the other day at the class reunion, somebody said, well, where's this one woman? And nobody could think of her name. And they were going, you mean the one that wears way too much makeup? They go, yeah, that one. Was she always like that? Yeah, she was always like that. Way too much makeup.
Yeah, and some of them put on that dark mascara, and it just is, I remember going out with a couple gals that had that, their eyes were like black with that stuff, and you want to say, hey man, well, you don't need that, but yeah, you can't be like Craig. You can't.
You can overdo it,
Tell them anything you want, because you're going to end up being alone. Anyway, David Hester. I've been trying to get to this David Hester, and we keep getting off of track. We always kept a bottle of Visine or Clear Eyes around, especially before school. We had a friend once that he put some Visine in one eye, and he had one white eye and one red eye. And he says, Cheech and Chong always said, fire one up. Let's get the Chinese eyes.
Well, how come they could tell you were high a long time ago? They could tell you were high because of your eyes.
Right. But
now the first thing is, who smells like weed?
A skunk. A skunk.
It stinks.
It stinks. It didn't stink.
When I was a stagehand, I'd walk up on stage and some people go, man, somebody's got some good weed.
Yeah, you could.
You you just have it in your pocket.
I know.
Stinks.
Because when we get pulled over by the police, as long as we had Visine in, they couldn't smell the weed in the car, because even we would be smoking it in the car. We'd always roll the windows down. But now, that's the first thing they say is, I smell marijuana.
It stinks. Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta carry it in smell-proof vessels.
And Craig and I were going down the road. I think it was in Cincinnati and down the middle of town. And he had the moon roof open, the sunroof, and he was burning, had his pipe. And then that freaking cop came up around us, and Craig was doing 90. And that cop guy was like, oh, hell, here we go. I'm getting ready to go to jail with the Stone Roadie. And that cop flew around us. But if he'd have pulled us, oh, it would have been bad. Yeah, I was glad. I was glad that it would have been a good story, but I think I was working at the time.
I got that vanilla spray in my car too, and I have that sunroof open all the time, so it blows out. But yeah, it kind of does. But yeah,
yeah.
But it's legal here now. But it's kind of like alcohol. You can't smoke and drive, I don't think.
Yeah, we've got this amendment that they're trying to pass to legalize marijuana here, but I think now you can grow like a couple plants if you have a marijuana card. I could be wrong about that, but
well, you don't even have to have a card here. You can just grow 6 plants in Ohio.
Yeah, you're not going to be, if they pass this new law, you're not going to, you can buy marijuana without a card, but you can't grow it. So what good is that? David Hester says, man, I wish I was like you, Craig, and never get hungry. Back in the day, I was skinny as a rail, didn't eat much, and was always on the go. What's wrong now, Dave? You blowing up like a tick, man?
Yeah, I got up this morning and I was kind of wondering if I'd lost, because I haven't eaten hardly anything, and I'm still at 160. I'm right at 160. I'm just hanging right there at 160. That's just a normal weight for somebody 6 foot, 160.
But you don't really get a lot of exercise, do you?
I don't get hardly any exercise.
Yeah. So go on the Craig diet, man. You just starve yourself, sit around, smoke weed, and don't eat.
Yeah. I don't know. For some reason, I just haven't been hungry. I didn't even have a banana today. I ran out of bananas.
Huh.
I was gonna eat a dill pickle, but I didn't even do that.
It's probably you got rid of those parasites.
Yeah, them parasites were hungry.
Yeah, those parasites were.
I think I shit them all out.
Yeah.
Walnuts.
Have you been given?
Yeah, walnuts and cloves and garlic. I think it's cloves and garlic. All that stuff's good for parasites.
How about Leon and Wicker? You giving it to them?
No, but you know what they say, that if you got animals around,
yeah,
that there's parasites.
That's you better start giving them some.
Amish. That's why the Amish take stuff for parasites, because if there's animals around, there are parasites.
Oh yeah,
and you can't get around it. So
get your wife to get a flashlight out and check you, man.
Yeah. I was talking to Brian today, and he was telling me about some dogs that they had worms and how to fix them with that stuff. I don't know if we're allowed to talk about.
No, I don't think we're allowed to say. No,
that kills that C word.
Yeah, which the C word could be too.
But different. I'm gonna tell you what, if I ever get involved with that C word, I'm gonna be gobbling that stuff up. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, you can get it. You can get it pretty easily now. Yeah.
Better
okay.
than that chemo.
Yeah, that chemo, man. That's some bad
that stuff. Causes that stuff, man. Everybody that gets that stuff ends up with the C.
It has cured some people, though. It's gotten rid of it. The chemo does work, but
then it comes back. Like my friend's wife, she got that, and 22 years later, she gets the big C.
Yeah,
that's some serious shit too. It's real fast.
Yeah. Well, let's not talk about it. Maybe we won't get it.
It
Carol
don't
the
run in
Cake
my
Girl.
family. I don't know why. None of that
You're
stuff
lucky. You're
was
lucky.
in my genetic formula.
Carol the Cake Girl, they are messing with ballots. There's problems in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. Yeah, Georgia, Washington, Oregon. They've been burning the machines. They've been throwing the mailman. They caught mailman throwing ballots away. Yeah, they're already started to cheat. It's
Oh, that
already.
was just some lazy guy. Yeah, he was finishing his shift way early. He was a new guy. He was a temporary. He wasn't even a real
Oh yeah,
mail guy. He was ordered through a temp service, and they gave him
that's
a
the story, and
shitload
they're
of
sticking
mail.
to
And
it.
he came in early, and they were suspicious. And yeah, he dumped 400 people's mail under a tree. He was just a lazy bastard.
He might have been on the payroll. Who
He might
knows,
have been.
man?
You don't never know. But yeah, he was just a temp guy. Yeah, he got off early. They were, how in the hell did you get off early? They gave him a bunch of shit to deliver. He got off way too early. Yeah, and they found it under a tree.
Well, how did they find the tree? I mean,
I don't know.
that's. I mean, he must have been pretty stupid or something if they were able to find it.
I don't know.
Yeah, you could have dumped it in a better. So maybe some kid found it or something.
They probably dumped it in somebody's rose bushes or something. Even,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, he was probably a liberal, and he's probably
Well, yeah,
he knew what
naturally.
he was doing.
He was
Yeah,
probably fat too.
yeah, he knew what he was doing. Kimmy says, I gotta ask, Griff, did you really go to a JJ Cale show? Yeah, I did. It was JJ Cale and Eric Clapton, and I believe it was like 1977 at the Lakeland Civic Center, and it sucked. It was like probably the worst concert I've ever seen because Eric Clapton wasn't even playing. He didn't believe it. I don't even think he just held his guitar there, and I don't even think he sang. He just kind of like walked around, man. He was, yeah,
That's
it was,
what he did when Skynyrd played with him. And Gary and Alan were just totally like just going, "What the hell?"
yeah, yeah. So there's the proof, Kimmy. And JJ Cale, I, I mean, I knew that JJ Cale wrote Cocaine, and Mr. Breeze, but you know, I don't even think he sang it because he got on stage and did Cocaine with Eric, but Eric had some backup guy, and it just I left. I left. It was horrible. Yeah, I'd like to get my money back for that one. Um Let me see. Oh, Monty Fisher says that copy machine was a dot matrix, was the old school copier. Somebody else in here called it something else when I get to that, if I don't get kicked off for the internet. Yeah, is that a black walnut? It got a hair in it, man. There's a yeah. You don't want to get that stuck in your throat. Um, Ann says, get Pops back on and have him tell some more cool stories. Well, we asked Pops to come back on, and he was right in the middle of getting a procedure or something, wasn't he, Craig? Some he
He had
was,
some stuff going on. He said he couldn't
yeah,
do it.
yeah, he couldn't. Maybe we'll try again, but yeah, he was going through something at the time. So we tried to get Pops, and Pops he's a cool son of a bitch, man. That damn Pops.
Well,
Steve Jones.
he's a big Trump supporter too.
Oh yeah, yeah. I see his posts. He likes all my posts when I put all my crazy posts that I share on there about that liberal clan. Steve Jones. Ed King said he had a solo for Saturday Night Special, but when he heard Gary's, he put his guitar away. He said, ask Craig, did that happen?
I don't remember that, no.
Yeah, well, is it probably one of those things where, I mean,
I wasn't doing guitars back then. I was a drum roadie back then. So
yeah, Gary, one time I think Ed said that, I forget what song it was, and yeah, I can't remember which one it was, and he said, "Oh yeah," he goes, you can't beat that riff." He said, "That's Gary's song." When you hear the riff, if that's the riff that goes with it, and you got something that's not as good, you got to let the guy have it. So yeah, he said that a couple times with some of Gary's stuff.
Gary,
that
played
damn
some
Gary,
incredible, tasty things, man. He really did. He really played some really tasty, nice stuff. Man.
Gary could just go like on a 5-minute run with that guitar and just make it sing. He
had his own style. I've never heard anybody play like Gary.
Yeah, he's just and making those riffs up. They were just. I think that just came from him.
He was good at it, man. He could come up with. If Gary had somebody to write, after Ronnie died, Gary was, working with Tom Kiefer and Travis Tritt and all kind of different writers. Like Cinderella. You wouldn't think Gary would be working with the guy from Cinderella, but yeah, they worked together, and he was working with people that were writers, trying to get into different kind of genres or whatever. But Gary, because when Gary did that, I went with him. I went over to the studio and ran the recorder with him.
Was it just stuff that he just did? Had he already practiced it, or was it?
He just got together with different guys, and they would just sit in a room and just see what they could come up with.
Wow!
Yeah, it was real cool.
Just jamming.
Yeah, I went and picked Tom Kiefer up in my 32 Plymouth and took him out.
Cool.
Yeah, it was real cool. He still remembers that. Yeah,
just freelancing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Laura Johnson, if people would just drink water when they get hungry, it would take care of the problem. That's true. If you drink a big glass of water, then you won't eat as much.
Mm-hmm.
So, have some little cards made up, Craig, that says, drink water and you won't eat as much, and hand it to some of these fat ladies when you go to Walmart. It's never a fat guy. He's always got to pick on the women. It's always the women. Why is that, Craig? Do you think that women
I don't look at the men, and there's, to tell you the truth, there's really not a lot of obese men. There's
well, that's because they're working to pay child support. They got to pay child support or they go to jail. That's why.
Yeah, I mean, you don't find a lot of men with that bloopla, or what do you call that thing?
The fupa.
That thing that, their belly hangs down over their belt.
The forward upper pubic area is the
You don't
fupa.
see a lot of guys that have to pull their belly fat up to.
Well, I know what some of these women are thinking right now, Craig.
In.
They're saying, "Oh, there's plenty of men they can't see their own penis for their belly." Well,
that's probably true.
We call that a tool shed.
Yeah, you can't see your feet. That's called
you can't.
That's called a dicky do, ain't it?
Yeah.
A dicky do.
Your stomach sticks out farther than your dicky do.
Yeah, that's what it is. Your stomach sticks out further. A dicky do. You got a dicky do. Belly sticks out further than your dicky do.
If you think Kathy,
and then there's a booby do too.
if you think Kathy was going to talk to you about the talking shit, now wait till she gets a hold of you tomorrow. Kathy's is probably shaking her head right now. Big cornbread. Craig, can you tell us the story of Ronnie's black eyes? Well, we just talked about that 2 podcasts ago, man. That was the bus. That was right when he yeah. And we were
guy that punched Ronnie, hit him so fast, hit him. I forget to say. Put knots on his head faster than he could rub them. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, they were on the bus, and there was a bunch of black guys on the side of the road, and Ronnie was up by the door, I guess, and this is what I guess the story is. And somebody yelled out the N-word, and then the door opened, and Ronnie went out there, and he ran into a couple prize fighters or something and got his clock cleaned. Alan ran out there to try to help, and then they hit him, and he ran back.
I heard, I wasn't there, but I heard it, that Alan ran out there and got popped once and ran back in the bus.
Yeah, so Craig wasn't there, big cornbread.
Yeah, me and Dean were off out juking, and they went off, and
we were
in San Francisco. We didn't want to just go to some old bar and hang with the band. We went out doing something.
I think if Kevin Elson was there, he's about the only chance that we have of anybody that knows anything about it.
Kevin really wasn't into going to bars and stuff.
Yeah, because they were going to the bar, right? They were loaded up going to the bar. See, you got another one from Steve Jones. The plane story with the nose spray was hilarious. How did you guys sit on the plane all wired out like that?
Drinking whiskey, that's how. Drinking whiskey and snorting cocaine.
Snorting whiskey and drinking cocaine.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
Well, Ed came up with that clever idea, so, leave it to Ed.
Yeah.
Tuxedo Manor, the best invention Ron Popil invented was the bald spot spray, was called GLH, good looking hair. And the copy machine was called the Ditto machine. Was it Ditto machine or something like that? Yeah, something like that. Yeah, that hairspray, of course, that only works for a spot. Now, I know KC and the Sunshine Band, and he started going bald, and he tattooed his whole head to make it look like hair.
But that wouldn't be very healthy, that toxic stuff on your skin, you put anything you put in your skin goes right in your blood.
Well, they say tattoos increases your chances of getting lymphoma. It doesn't matter how big a tattoo it is. And that's not just my opinion. That's a recent study that just came out with that. So, yeah. So before you go get a tattoo, that increases your chances of lymphoma. And it doesn't matter. Speaking of tattoos, I saw a picture of Leon and Leon and Gary were showing their tattoos.
Yeah, I saw that one too.
Did they go together to get their tattoos, Craig?
No.
Did Ronnie have a tattoo when you met him?
You know what? Yeah. Ronnie and Gary and Leon all went to Tuttle's that time we were at the Continental Hyatt House, and right across the street was that guy Tuttle. He did tattoos, and I got drunk with those guys. But when it was time to go get a tattoo, I didn't go. I said, I'm going to go to my room. I'll be over.
You didn't want a tattoo.
I went lock myself in my room.
I wonder if that guy's still around.
Oh God, that was 50 years ago. He'd have
How
to be in
old?
his 90s, you know.
How old was he, you think?
I didn't go, so I don't know how he's
Yeah.
probably, I don't know how old.
Well, you Stone Roadie fans, see
Yeah,
if you
but
can
God,
research
we
that.
were only 20, that we were only 22, 23 years old then.
Yeah, if
You
anybody
know,
can
so
find where Tuttle is, if he's still around, we'll get him on the podcast,
he
man.
was right on Sunset Strip, right across from the Continental Hyatt House, you know.
Wow.
77 Sunset Strip.
And what was Ronnie's tattoo of?
God, you know, I can't even remember now.
Yeah.
I don't
I
know.
used to know. I mean, I saw a picture of it, but
Leon, his faded out. The one that he got originally faded out, and he had it redone. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Um, Yeah, and I wonder if those tramp stamps, they're kind of out of style now, and all these
Oh
gals got those
God,
tramp
yeah.
stamps. Yeah, they all got. I had a wife who got my name back there, and then that's the only thing I could laugh at when we got divorced. Was that she had my name back there, and that's the only thing that I could laugh at about her. And she had to get that chain. It was big too. And so I'm guaranteeing
That'd
she
be
don't
funny.
still have it. Um, let me see here. Uh, Elvin Parker. Craig, when I go to concerts, I never see amps anywhere. Is everything going through the PA now?
No, they have stuff up there on those bridges and stuff. They got amps underneath everything. It's all
Yeah.
hidden. Yeah, the musicians they don't, a lot of them don't have access. They can't just go back and turn something up. They don't have controls for it, you know. They have to
And you
get
were saying
their,
that I was asking you questions about the old gray whistle test, and you said that was their stuff. That wasn't Skinnered stuff, right?
well, no, we were over there, so we were on tour, so we had our equipment there.
You did? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you have those tweed amps up there?
No,
Or do
no,
you
no,
remember?
no.
Which
That
ones
we
would they
didn't
have
have that
been?
stuff
They were the
then.
Mace
No.
amps, right?
Uh,
I have to go back and look at that, huh?
I don't, man, I don't know. I can't remember. I think they were using maces at that time, but
Yeah.
I
That was
can't
pretty good,
remember. That
man.
was right at, it was after Ed. It was right after Ed. It wasn't there.
That old gray whistle test was really a great show, man. I mean, they had a lot of cool people
Yeah,
on
that
it.
was, yeah, that was,
And Ronnie was wearing a button, and it had that logo of the guy kicking like a karate guy. And he was
yeah.
wearing that button.
That was
That would
like
be
the
a nice.
midnight, kind of like the midnight special, the English,
Yeah.
the midnight special. Yeah,
And yeah.
yeah.
And
Old whistle test.
you remember much about that, Craig? I mean,
No, that's 50 years ago,
well, you
man.
remember being there, right? And
Yeah, I remember vaguely remember parts of it, but I don't remember anything specific about it.
did they just like do it like in one take, or did they have to how do you remember?
I don't remember a lot
No?
about it at all. It was, it's a TV thing, so you're not there for a long time. You're like, okay, let's do it, and it's just more
Yeah.
or less, you just do it, it's like one take, it's like
Have you seen that
they don't
freaking have
lollygag.
you seen that Frankie Valli singing lately?
Oh my God, yeah,
That's
that's hilarious.
scary, man. That's like he looks like one of those animatronic robots at Disney World, man, when he comes out there and he's lip syncing and he's not
Oh, I
hardly even
know.
moving his mouth, and he's
Oh, I
got these
know.
backup singers and they're all dancing around, and and then he comes walking out through the middle of them, and he's lip syncing that music from when he was 20.
Oh yeah, it sounds. Yeah, I'm sure he's got a voice like that, and he's not even breathing. He's just like,
his eyes don't blink.
I mean,
he doesn't even know he's there.
No,
like Joe Biden.
It's so phony looking. It's not even funny.
Yeah, and he's just like, he's real frail looking. He's got a big old head, and he's just coming out there, and his eyes don't move, and he just looks like
he's got all those 6 backup vocals
Yeah.
behind him, just a wailing, and he's up there just.
It's ridiculous.
Yes,
and he doesn't even hold the microphone to his mouth. He's got it way down.
No, I know it's obscene. Yeah,
I know you guys out there. And
like you said,
land.
He doesn't blink. He doesn't blink. They got him on something. It's like that stuff Biden was on. Remember when Biden was giving speeches?
Yeah,
and he didn't blink.
Yeah,
it's the same stuff, I guess. It's Hollywood stuff,
And that's all the comments and questions, Craig. So we are ready to wrap it up, and I can just go right in and edit that one comment out right there at the end. So, yeah, we're wrapping it up. We're all done, and happy hump day.
See you later, alligator at the wild crocodile, and I'll see you tomorrow night. Me and Kathy Gazzi will see you on a Halloween special on a Stone Roadie show. And that's a wrap. Cut.
Happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you. Keep token until then.